Good morning, everyone. I am so sorry I am late. I have a little bit of a scheduling snafu, so I'm in transit, but excited to move through these grants with you all. So I'm just seeing the attendee list. Looks like just Counselor Flynn with me on the council so far. And
Hello?
oh, yes, can you hear me?
We can, Councillor. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So is Carrie or Candace on the back end here?
Morning, Madam Chair. It's Carrie.
Morning, Carrie.
You are.
How are you? Okay.
Good, thank you.
Let's do it. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle Wu, and I am chair of the Committee on Planning, Development, and Transportation. I welcome you to our hearing on several dockets related to transfers of property and grants through this committee. I again apologize that I'm off camera in a little bit of transit and unstable situation, but I will move through these grants and dockets quickly, and if needed, I will lean on my colleague, Counselor Flynn here to step in. But I'll first start by reading some of the disclosures related to this docket these dockets to get them on the record. And then we'll give Counselor Flynn a chance to give an opening statement, and then we'll just dive in one by one. Okay, so here we go. In accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, modifying certain requirements of the open meeting law and relieving public bodies of certain requirements, including the requirement that public bodies conduct meetings in a public place that's open and physically accessible to the public, the City Council will be conducting this hearing virtually. This enables the council to carry out our responsibilities while adhering to public health recommendations and ensuring public access to deliberations through adequate alternative means. The public may watch this meeting via live stream at the City of Boston's website or via broadcast on Xfinity 8, RCN 82, and FiOS 964. This public hearing is being recorded and live streamed. Yes, as mentioned, and will be rebroadcast later as well. Anyone that would like to testify on this matter, please email juan.lopez@boston.gov for the Zoom link. Today's hearing is on dockets number 0726, 0812, 0813, and 0814, which I will read into the record. Please bear with me. Docket number 0726, message in order for your approval to declare surplus city-owned former Commonwealth of Massachusetts parcel and transfer the care and custody, management, and control of said property to the Public Facilities Commission located at Meliacas Boulevard in the Roxbury District, Ward 9, parcel number 01968010. Docket number 0812, message in order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $239,000 in the form of a grant for the 2021 Transportation Construction Grant awarded by the Massachusetts Gaming Commission to be administered by the Transportation Department. The grant will fund the Lost Village project in the Charlestown neighborhood. Docket number 0813, message in order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $200,000 in the form of a grant for the 2021 Transportation Planning Grant awarded by the Massachusetts Gaming Commission to the Transportation Department. The grant will fund a portion of the design cost under the Tetra Tech contract for the Sullivan Square Rutherford Ave project. And finally, docket number 0814, message in order for your approval of an order authorizing the City of Boston Conservation Commission to receive a property located at Morrison Street, unnumbered, in the Rosendale neighborhood of Boston and identified by the City of Boston's Assessing Department as parcel identification number 200516500. These matters were sponsored by the mayor and referred to this committee on June 6th, docket number 0726 on June 6, 2021, and the rest of the dockets on June 23rd, 2021. I am joined by my colleague, City Councilor Ed Flynn, who I will ask to, if he would like to give a brief opening, and then we'll pass it over to the administration. Councilor Flynn?
Yes, hi, Councilor Wu. I apologize about that. I don't necessarily have an opening statement. I just want to acknowledge the city workers that are here for working hard, doing a professional job for the residents of Boston. I'm also looking forward to learning more about these three parcels of property, I guess. So I might have a question after they speak. Thank you, Councilor Wu.
Thank you, Counselor Flynn. Okay, so let's start in the order that these were introduced with 0726, the Melnia Cass Boulevard property. I believe, is it Shani who will be presenting on this one?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Counselor.
Okay, thank you.
I will share a fact sheet. My apologies for the delay. I believe the fact sheet is visible. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. So these are I'm presenting today on this unnumbered Melnia Cass Boulevard parcel in Roxbury. Good morning, councilors. My name is Shani Fletcher, and I am a development officer in the Neighborhood Housing Development Division of the City of Boston Department of Neighborhood Development and the Grassroots Open Space Program Manager. I am here before you today to request the surplus of this parcel in the Roxbury neighborhood so that D&D can proceed with a request for proposals to preserve this parcel as open space through the Grassroots Open Space Program in conjunction with an abutting parcel on Windsor Street. The parcel has served as a community garden for the neighboring residents for many decades, providing an important source of food security as well as open space. In 2009, this 26,400 I'm sorry, I apologize, that number is incorrect. This 21,906 square foot parcel was transferred from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to the City of Boston. In 2013, the City of Boston Public Facilities Commission voted to transfer this parcel to the care, custody, management, and control of the Department of Neighborhood Development with the intent that it eventually enter a disposition process. In October of 2020, D&D initiated a community process to discuss the future use of this parcel. Community support was strong for its preservation as open space and future disposition in conjunction with the abutting parcel. As you may recall, in March of 2021, D&D requested that the committee advance a surplus vote on the abutting parcel and unnumbered Windsor Street parcel, intending to be included in a future open space RFP. Subsequent to that vote, it was discovered that the parcel on which the community garden itself sits, the parcel in question today, was also in need of a surplus vote before proceeding to an RFP. D&D intends to issue a request for proposals in September. We respectfully request that the committee advance this vote to be voted on by the full council at its next meeting so that D&D may proceed with the disposition process. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Counselor Flynn, do you have questions on this one?
Hi, Councilor Wu. No, I don't have any questions on this one. I know it's going to be used for a community garden. I think that's an excellent purpose. Thank you, Councilor Wu.
Great. And Shani, the only question on my end is, could you just describe what kind of protections will be on this parcel, just in terms of long-term, in preserving that for the long-term use?
Absolutely. This parcel will have a permanent deed restriction as allowed in perpetuity by the law, which means that it will have guaranteed 30 years plus an optional 20 years if there's any court challenge to the permanent deed restriction. But it will be an open space restriction specifically for community gardening.
Okay, great. And then in terms of the 30 years plus 20 years, is the responsibility on the city at that point to keep track and extend, or?
It's the responsibility of the future owner.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right. So anything else we should know on this particular parcel?
I don't believe so. It's really been a long time resource for the community, and I know there's a lot of support to keep it as a garden. And we'll be offering some funds to help make some permanent improvements as well.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
We will move on now to, it looks like we could bundle together 0812 and 0813. If and we can those. Let me see who's here. Bill is Bill. Yep, Bill, Para, and I don't see Sanjay on here. So Bill and Para, could you take it away?
Go
ahead, Para.
No.
You want me to go?
Yes, Billy.
Okay. Thank you, Councilor Wu, and thank you, Councilor Flynn, for meeting today. The first docket number 0812. This has to do with the Lost Village, a section of Charlestown over close to Cambridge Street. This award was a transportation construction grant by the Mass Gaming Commission. If you may recall, docket number 0859, which was granted to us in 2020 for $295,000. This grant is for $239,000, bringing the total to $534,000. This grant will be used to make improvements in this section of Charlestown on Cambridge Street at Brighton Street, as well as Cambridge Street at Parker Street and Stock Street, as well as Parker Street at Hadley Street, as well as Parkin Street and Caldwell Street, Broadway at Brighton Street, as well as some sidewalk improvements on Medford Street over near Bunker Hill for some sidewalk improvements. That going on to docket number 0813, this is an ongoing grant from the Mass Gaming Commission that funds the Rutherford Avenue Sullivan Square project. And this is for $200,000. This probably will be the last grant we receive for the design, as we're currently progressing into 100% design now. As you may or may not recall, we did have a design public hearing for 25% for Mass DOT that was held in this past June. We are now progressing towards a 75% design onto 100% design for right now scheduled for June of 2022. And we're looking to commence this project somewhere in the spring, summer of 2023. Project value right now is at $175 million. A portion of this money is $25 million is being funded from the Mass Gaming Commission. That's an agreement between the city of Boston that called out once the opening of the casino happened in June of 2019, the Mass Gaming Commission would fund the city of the Sullivan Square, Rutherford Avenue construction for 10 years, 2.5 million per year for 10 years. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Council, if I may add just a couple of points.
Yes, please.
So the first one, the Lost Village Councillor, Mr. Conrad has been immensely thorough in securing as much outside money as possible. The Lost Village Project Councillor, the construction will be advertised by the City of Boston Public Works, so that's a city project. The Rutherford Avenue Sullivan Square, again, Mr. Conroy has been masterful in securing any and all resources from outside agencies to supplement or offset the city's expenditures. The Rutherford Avenue Sullivan Square project will be advertised by the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. It's going to be a state-managed construction project, needless to say, with very close coordination, supervision, and cooperation by the city, hand in hand between the Transportation Department and the Public Works Department. So the first one advertised by the city for construction, second one advertised by the state for construction.
Got it. That makes sense. Councilor Flynn, do you have any questions on these Charlestown grants?
Thank you, Council. Well, I don't necessarily have any questions. Want to say thank you to Para and to Bill for professional years of service to the residents of Boston. I do have one question as it relates, it's somewhat unrelated, but I do, since both are here, I want to take the opportunity to ask them, as it relates to Encore, this is money from Encore, the casino that's being used to help our streets and sidewalks. But my question is, Encore has a bus that picks up residents on Surface Road, JFK Surface Road artery in Neyland Street in Chinatown. And I see the bus there all the time, beautiful bus, Encore, and it's free. It goes to the casino. Does a bus like that, Bill or Para, have to have a license to park park there and wait for residents to get on and take them to the casino?
The short of that is, Counselor, is that was an agreement that was made with Jim Folk, and Jim Folk was the head of the transportation at Encore. There was a certain ask from Encore at the time to use that trolley stop at Chinatown to pick up and drop off guests. That was at the beginning of the opening of the casino in 2019. I have heard some rumblings about whether that was still wanted by the community, or it's one of those things that it's out there, Counselor, right now that it could be taken away if we don't want that use. That's something I'm happy to discuss with Encore, but there was kind of an unwritten agreement that we allowed that use for a series of time. So it's not, in fact, a written agreement with Encore as it stands today. All Encore transportation as it relates to the casino starts and terminates at Sullivan Square outside of the regional buses that go to points A and B, north and south.
Does the city receive any funding for the amount of time the Encore bus stays on city property?
No, we have not. As I said, there's no agreement as where it stands today. That was the use of the trolley stop, which that's kind of where we're at. So happy to discuss that. Happy to discuss that with the casino. By all means, it's a conversation we can have.
Yeah, Bill, if you don't mind reaching out to the casino, I'd like to be part of that discussion. I can meet anytime. I'll be direct. I am troubled having a bus waiting on city property for an extended period of time,
Right.
taking my constituents to a casino to exploit them. They don't have much money. They work in restaurants, and they're spending a lot of that money at the casino instead of, unfortunately, they should be spending it, buying milk and bread and stuff for children. I'm just troubled by that exploitation that I think Encore is doing to residents. So I'm not happy about that. I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm not happy about that.
Okay, that's fine. I can reach out to their transportation people, and we'll have a Zoom call on that. If Councilor Wu, if you want to join us and others, by all means, that's fine. And I know of another bus also that's over on Dorchester Ave as well. So maybe that's just the start of discussion on where we want to go with that.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill. And yes,
thank you,
please,
Bill.
I'll make sure that I'm looped in through Ed's office. Would love to at least send a member from my team to that Zoom meeting if possible.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ed.
No,
That's
thank
great.
you. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Para. And I apologize to my Councilor Wu for asking questions somewhat unrelated, but I felt it was appropriate at this time. But thank you, Councilor Wu, for giving me a little bit of leeway here.
No, appreciate your advocacy as always. I'm noting that there's a hand raised from someone who my guess might have something to say on this part of the process. So I'm going to just add Brian to this Zoom room. Okay, there we go. Brian, would you like to give your public testimony in this portion? Does it relate to the Charlestown projects?
Yes, it does, Madam Chair.
Great, please go ahead.
And what I would like to do is just on behalf of the Sullivan Square Residents Association, I would like to thank you, Madam Chair, and to Bill Conroy and all of the employees at BTD and the City of Boston who are assisting our residential community that has been overrun by commuter traffic. This is a very important step in the right direction to protect our residential community from the casino traffic and Sullivan Square traffic. So thank you very much for every consideration. And thank you again, Bill, for all your efforts. We look forward to continue to work with you on what we believe is a very important public safety issue. Thank you again.
Thank you, Brian, for those
Brian.
comments. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Brian, and what you do in the community. My only question for Bill and Para on this one, and I know it's slightly outside the purview of this grant and hearing, but could you just describe how this transportation improvement project will intersect with the developments that are potentially in discussion in that area, and what conversations just from within City of Boston agencies to the BPDA, et cetera, have happened?
We're currently working with the BPDA as well as other agencies, as well as Mass DOT, as you may or may not know, counselor or counselors, I should say. There'll be some reconstruction of both the Main Street and Marfa Street bridges by Mass DOT come next spring, 2022. So we have that on our forecast right now. We're working diligently with the community to help prevent cut-through traffic as it relates to the casino, as well as the overall use of Sullivan Square. So we're working very closely with this. The improvements will happen. Right now, we do not have interconnect from the Cambridge Street intersection, basically the off-ramp from I-93 down to Parker Street, but this will help. We'll have interconnect. We'll be able to control those signals. So I know Brian's been very vocal in the community, been having several meetings with the community. So we, when this was flagged by Inez Foster as a construction grant we could possibly get, this really came as a need for the community that basically needed some help over here. So as I said, we've been also working with Rise Development as well. And you probably know about some of the other projects coming online that are yet, I shouldn't say coming online, that are proposed in that area.
Got it.
Billy,
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Councillor. Billy,
Go
you
for
may
it, Para.
want to, sorry, Councillor Bill, sorry, Mr. Conroy, you may want to add a couple of tiny sentences as to the disposition of the 2 new parcels that you are creating. I should say the project is creating. It is possible that the councillor may also be alluding to that. I'm just guessing.
Right. Well, that's what the Sullivan Square, obviously Rutherford Avenue project, when we were going to take out the roundabout and create a street grid network that will create 2 city-owned parcels for development in the future. So in that grid system that's currently in our design came about by a 2013 land disposition study with the number of agencies that were involved in that. So that's how Sullivan Square, which we're proposing to build, or which we have in our current design, that's how everything's going to fall together. We see Rutherford Avenue as being the reconstruction of Rutherford Avenue being the gateway into the city that fuels the development along with it. And with our design, we've also taken into consideration that development that's going to be coming online as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
You are.
Yeah, sorry. In the car, out of the car, in the car. But at least we're driving for a little while now.
Okay.
But thank you so much. Is there anything else that we should know? I guess my final question on this point, you said you're basically at 100% design. Are there any other community engagement opportunities or meetings or rest of the process that we should just get on the record here?
Well, the Lost Village that's a separate project. That's at 100% design. I mean, there's a couple of tweaks. The Sullivan Square Rutherford Avenue project, we're hoping I want to get back out into the community because we really want to get some more input on the public space and those items as well. We won't be at 100% till probably June of 2022. Okay.
Great. Okay, thank you very much to you both. I think we're good to move forward to the last docket here, which is 0814. And is Nick here for that one? Hi, Nick.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, Councillor Flynn. On behalf of the commission, I do want to thank you for calling this hearing about another opportunity to permanently protect a piece of land in Boslandale. I want to recognize and thank Ms. Deborah Beatty Mell, not only for her generosity in offering this gift of land, but also for tireless dedication and to the protection, restoration, and enjoyment of the Roslindale Wetlands Urban Wild. I've also prepared a few slides just to help familiarize you with familiarize you with where the parcel is located. So as you noted, Madam Chair, the parcel is unnumbered and located on Morrison Street, which is a paper street that runs through the urban wild. And based off of the most recent survey of the wetlands, it's actually part of the upland buffer. And buffer zones are not just important because they buffer wetlands, but they're important in and of themselves because they act as a screen to the wetland by removing sediment and excess nutrients from stormwater runoff. They protect the wetland from edge effects caused by existing or proposed development, and also provide critical wildlife habitat for any species that call the wetlands home. And so with that, the commission is very excited at the prospect of receiving this gift of land, which permanently protect it for conservation and practice of recreation purposes. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you very much, Nick. Councillor Flynn, do you have questions on this one?
Hey, Councilor Wu. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Councilor Wu. I heard the presentation from Nick. I thought it was excellent. I want to say thank you to Nick and his team and the dedicated city workers, and also want to say thank you to the generosity of the woman that donated the land. That's an incredible gift to benefit the residents of Rosendale. I think that's excellent open space for residents and for families to use. So I don't have any questions. Glad to support it. And thank you to the city of Boston, and a special thank you to the generosity of so many kind people across the city of making this the best city it can be.
Thank you, Councillor Flynn. Nick, this has been really exciting to just see how much has been possible over a relatively short period of time with the Rosendale wetlands. If you think about the map that you had just shown with the green and all the parcels laid out, how much of that is now protected and how many parcels would still, in a perfect world, be added to that?
So as of right now, the commission owns all but 5, or will own, depending on the council's decision here, would own all but 5 parcels within the wetlands themselves. So there would only be 5 parcels that are held private.
Got it. And I know we engaged in this a little bit last time around when we were talking about this, but in terms of the resources that you all have to manage, what kind of maintenance is required for these parcels, and what resources does that involve on your end?
Yeah, so we're very lucky right now. There is an ongoing capital restoration and renovation project of the wetlands happening through the Parks Department. And so we are in the process, in the thick of things, making sure that the wetlands are being properly restored to native species, and putting in a complete trail system for all of the residents to use and access the site. So we're very lucky that we already have this money allocated in the capital budget to do this project. And after the project is done, once the restoration is complete, maintenance of the site should be relatively inexpensive moving forward, now that we've restored the ecological functions of the wetlands themselves.
Great. Thank you so much. That's all I had, and I'll echo the thanks so much to Deb as well, not just for this parcel, but for her leadership on several of the other major steps forward that the city has seen here recently. Thank you very much, Nick. And let me just do a quick scan of I don't see anyone else who's scheduled to testify. Are there any other comments from our representatives from the administration on any of the dockets mentioned, or thoughts on the others you were not testifying on? Okay, Counselor Flynn, any final thoughts?
No final thoughts. Thank you, Council Wu, and thank you to our dedicated and professional city employees.
Thank you very much. I so appreciate everyone's time. This will conclude our hearing on dockets number 0726, 0812, 0813, and 0814, and we will take these up at our next city council meeting. Thank you everyone for your time. This hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Carrie.
No problem. Have a good afternoon.
You too. See ya.